means you are able to view the pages, so you will be able to see those pages, and everything will be restricted to the security. Okay. And if you see other side, like this is a menu and this is a favorites. Like if you frequently use some few pages, okay, on day to day, then instead of like going searching on this particular menu, you can just add it to the favorites, so that from there you can just like easily access those pages. Instead of searching here, you can just go there and you can just directly click the particular page. Then you can able to view this. If you remember, like in the demo, like we have just accessed a few pages like a regular entry, okay, and we also like access like ledger, general ledger definitions, currency denominations, and everything. So all these are recently used pages you can see here, and recently search like add favorites. So wherever you have add favorites, then you can easily access from the favorites page. Okay, just like even Internet Explorer, like if you add onto your you can just add other favorites so that you can easily access those pages and menus instantly. Okay, and when it comes to this, okay, when it comes to the like, configuration side, you can just segregate. You can segregate like the the functional and as well as the from the end user point of view, like user point of view. So as I said earlier, like this is a set of financials where this is the main area where you can do all your configurations. Anything which is the product related, if you want to like do access something, so you can go to the set of financials. From there you can add. Okay, you can like delete whatever the modification you want to do. Everything can be done from this particular page. Okay, and there is one more page called the technical page where like it actually both it gives you the technical as well as the functional. Okay, that is called the people tools. The people tool is the main like the technical developer. Majorly like the technical developer will handle these kind of things. In the functional also, there are few things which we will handle it. Okay, some of the configurations and the process monitors and everything, how the batch process will runs. Any process runs, you can look it from, you can just check those from the particular process monitors and everything. Okay, just a minute, Jonathan.
Okay.
Okay. So this is called in the setup financial. This is called the installation options. So normally this page normally people will use when you are doing the implementation. Okay, when you are doing implementation, you can see that installation pages level. What are the things we can configure, or like what are the license we purchase from the Oracle, and we can configure those modules. Okay. Hi Gayatri.
Hi. Hello.
Okay. This is the called installation option page. Okay. Just go and click on the products. Okay. So normally when the consultant, whenever they start implementing it, so they should know what are the modules which is required for the particular project. Okay. So which are the modules are required to be configured. So you need to, like, normally they will do it. They will select those modules, and they will select those modules, and they will select those modules, and once they save, so there are kind of components and the pages which is linked to the each and every module will be automatically open to the configurations. Okay. For example, okay, in the set of financials there is a BU related which I discussed, and common definition related and the product related. Okay. So if I enable very few modules here, then relevant pages and the components for this particular for the particular BU related, product related, and common definition related pages will be enabled. Okay, because there are a lot of modules interdependent, and the configurations in each and every related also interdependent. Okay, so depends upon my configuration selection that my product selected in the installation option level. So those relevant pages and the components will be automatically opened by the database. Okay, so whenever this implementation comes on, they will buy a license from the Oracle, and when they are buying their license from the Oracle, they will also subscribe for their other products. So which are how many modules they are going to use, and to that further they will subscribe to the Oracle. Okay. If something, okay, for example, I have not subscribed to one of the modules, but still I can use it. But when you use it, when you get any kind of technical issues which is required Oracle assistance, once you raise to the Oracle, Oracle will never support, and Oracle will penalize for the additional module you are using for this particular automation. Okay, so that is why normally, even though the pages, the modules are available, depends upon the license you bought. So those modules only will be enabled in the system. Okay. So this is a page where we can see what are the modules where I can use it. Okay. So once I open these the modules, then only I can configure those in the setup financial, the BU and product related level. Okay. And there are a couple of overall configurations which will be enabled at overall product level. Okay. Okay, so this overall configuration is like it is okay. This is at the company level, okay, the organization level where they configure and implementing it. Okay, so when I'm implementing this, okay, what are the common information commonly document? So what is this document sequencing? More transactions. Okay, so depends upon the requirement. It is not necessary to use the document sequencing in each and every company. Okay. Depends upon the requirement they will use. They will see whether they want to track each and every transactions, and each and every transactions will be associated with some document number. Okay, so that will be like used, and whether you want to use alternative account, whether the companies, some very few companies will use the alternate accounts, the alternate accounts where you can use for the reporting purpose. Okay. So whether if I want to use the alternate accounting in my company, so if I want to use this, you need to just enable that particular alternative account option at the installation option level. So the initial option level means it is the highest hierarchy in the PeopleSoft. Okay. So if I configure here, that means that entire PeopleSoft in the particular organization is enabled. Is this my voice is audible to Gayatri and Jonathan?
Yeah, I can hear like 60-70% of it.
Yeah, same here.
What about Gayatri?
Yes, same here.
Okay. I'll try to buy a new headset tomorrow. Okay. Multi-book engines in the software. I think you are aware about the multi-GSL multi-books, correct? So whether my company, whether they want to use the multi-system, multi-subsystems, multi-book engines for the subsystems, if you enable, then only you can do it. Okay. And apart from like document tolerance, like whether you want to use the document tolerance options, then you can use this legal entity. Legal entity is one of the concept like, okay, if you want to use legal entity concept, for example, multiple entries in the one country can be clubbed and be reported with one legal entity. Okay. So whether you want to use those kind of kind of reporting purpose, then you use the legal entity unit concept. Okay.
What is this GIS integration?
Uh, Global interface staging. Okay. That is like a server side. Okay. So any integration which is required from some of the countries will use allies, that is like a local interface stagings, and some of the countries they use like a global interface stagings. Okay, where the data you need to be like stage your data. Okay, so depends upon the company only. There is a pure technical. You don't need to just you can just use. Okay. Because all the data, whatever the data you use in the database, the data has to be stored somewhere. Okay, each and every data will be stored in the database, and some of the inbound files and outbound files will be generated. Okay, when you are doing the inbound and outbound files and integrating with the multiple system. Okay, there is a like server, the servers in the server, global interface staging areas, and the local interface will be okay. So when you are using that, then only you will use this particular options. Okay. Even if you without enabling this option, also like for the server level, they will do some configuration. And the inter-unit method. Okay, I will highlight only the whichever is important. Okay, because as I said earlier, there are a lot of options will be available in each and every page. Okay, but depends upon the company, the kind of nature of the business they do. Okay, they will do the configurations. But what are the pages, the configurations available is considered across the industries and across the requirement, and those are available in the PeopleSoft. Okay, so whichever is required to the particular organization, only those will be enabled in the company. Okay. So, and one more important thing is like inter-unit transactions. Okay. When you are doing the when you are doing the inter and intra-unit transactions, okay. So there are two things will be there. Okay, a direct and indirect and phase method. Okay. What is exactly this does? Okay, when you are doing the configurations for the inter and intra-entity setups. Okay, so there are certain way of configuration changes. The differences are there. Okay, when you are doing it direct, you can just directly configure and you can create a template, and those templates will be enabled at a GLB level. Okay, so some of the indirect method means where you can just select few configuration changes. The paste method, the one more method where the additional setups has to be done. That is only the difference, except that there is no much difference. Okay.
So let's say if I don't check up the enable document setting, then what will happen?
Nothing will happen. Then what will happen is you cannot use the document sequence option at a subsystem level or a G level.
Okay, can you give an example?
Okay.
So an example.
Yeah. Let me take AP is one of the example. Okay. when I enable that allow the document sequencing, okay, in the when you're executing with the installation option level, that means it is the highest level of hierarchy. Okay, so if I enable this document sequencing option at a installation option level, all the BUs, GLBUs, subsystem BUs, everything, that so document sequence option will be automatically enabled. That means what will happen whenever you do your GLBU configuration or subsystem configurations, you have to define your document sequencing number. Okay, if you don't do it, so the configuration will not be completed. Your system will not allow you to complete your setups. Okay, so if I not selected, then what will happen? So you don't want to track all your transactions, inbound, outbound, the subsystem level, GL level. You don't want to track, okay, with the sequence number, the document sequencing number. If you don't enable that option, so that configuration itself will not be enabled at the GLBU level or subsystem BU level. So it is not required you to you select the particular option, and you are not able to see the document sequence option page in your subsystem level. Is it okay?
Yep.
So second thing, these are the products. Okay, I just when we are going into the module specific, I will cover one by one. But I will, as a highest eye level, I will show you. Okay. If I go to the billing options, okay, so there are a lot of importance on the installation option level. Okay, so here auto numbering parameters. Okay, so this I will cover in detail when I'm covering the billing module. Okay, so here it will define, we are defining here at what level your auto numbering parameters you want to define. Okay, whether you want to control your auto numbering. Auto numbering is nothing but your invoice number. Okay, so whenever you do a billing from the generate invoice from the billing module, okay, so there is an invoice number has to be generated in the system. Okay, so at what level you want to generate your invoice number? Okay, so in the initial option level, you will define at what level I can define my invoice numbering. Okay, from the PeopleSoft point of view, the reason why the given option, because you can define your number, invoice number at a different levels. Okay, the meaning of different levels means at a BU level I can configure it. Okay, at a bill type I can configure it. On bill source level I can configure it. Okay, so what level you want to define, you need to define here. For example, if I use a business unit level, that means at a business unit level, this invoice number ID option will be enabled. Okay, if I say at a bill type level, okay, here business unit level, I'm not able to see this invoice ID number, invoice ID format number. So where I can see the invoice number format only at a bill type level.
So recommended is bill type, right?
I'm sorry, actually. No, that is depends upon your requirement, company requirement. Okay. So some of the companies, I'll share my experience. Okay, in one of the organization where we have configured the invoice numbering at each and every business unit level. Okay, for example, you have 10 business units. Okay, so each business unit have their own unique number format. Okay, so one of the organization what we have configured, they said even the business unit level also they want to configure their at build type or the build source level. Build type or build source in source means like whether when you are generating the invoices from the online, then have to configure there is a separate a unique numbering format has to be generated for it. When I'm generating the invoices from the asset management, I have to get So asset management like AM0001 020. That means by looking the invoice number, I can come to know this invoice is generated from the AM module. Some of the contracts, some of the invoices will be generated from the contractor. Okay, so the numbering format. So when we are configuring it, we will enable by the source level. That means whenever any invoice which is coming from the contracts, so whenever any invoice coming from the contracts, the invoice format will be going picked from the source configuration. At the source level, what format, invoice format I have configured, so those invoice numbering format will be generated and will be used. Okay, in one of my experience where they have a different concept called like a business unit, manager country, legal entity, and business unit. Okay, so multiple business unit will be linked to one legal entity, and multiple legal entity will be linked to one manager country. Okay, so they said they want to track some entities. They want to track their invoice number by using the manager country. For example, US001 is the US01 is the manual country. Okay, so all invoices which is generated under the legal entity and the subsystem like sub BUs in the same legal entity, everything the system is generated only US01 and followed by the number. In the same entity only in other manual country, they said they want to track their invoices with the legal entity. Okay, so whenever you do it, the generating the invoice from the legal entity, so it is coming as USA01, USA0002, USA003. So because the legal entity starts from the USA001, 01, 02, 03 like that. So we will create a combination of the business unit number plus followed by the 8 characters or 10 characters of the country. 8 is the number format. So those kind of configuration we will do it. If I enable this particular source level, that means when I am going to the source level, I can see there only I can define my invoice number format. But I cannot define the invoice number format at a business unit level because here my highest level configuration where I did use the invoice number format from the build type or not from the business unit or build source level. Okay. So these topics we will cover in depth when we are going to the module level. Okay. Okay. Bill entry, how many maximum rows is like 5 rows you can read. Maximum number of scores we can 40. And what is the highest level of business? Okay. And any interface. Okay. The last BI interface ID. So when you are generating the invoice from the other modules of the PeopleSoft to the billing, okay, those items data will be coming to the PeopleSoft billing, okay, through interface. Okay, certain interface tables will be used to push the data from the other PeopleSoft module or outside the PeopleSoft module. Okay. So which is the last interface ID which is generated for this particular view is I can see it. Like the 142 is the last interface that I can generate. Okay. Enable manual numbering, whether you want to enable manual line numbers or you don't want to use that. Okay. There are a couple of configurations we can run it here. Okay. And even the page series I will cover when we are discussing about it. So certain configuration we will do it here. Okay. So whatever you define here, the same thing will be enabled under the VU or product related. Okay. So the base for this those kind of configuration is on the installation option level. even though billing integration, so there's one more option called, okay, whether you want to push your accounting entries from the billing to GL or from the AR to GL. Okay. Can you, anyone like Jonathan or like Gayatri, can you know why we are trying to define the billing creates a GL accounting entries or AR creates a GL accounting entries?
What is that?
Just like, no, there is an option called GL option level in the installation option level. Okay, I want to create my accounting entries from the billing to GL. Okay, that is one option. And one more option is called like AR creates a GL accounting. That means from the AR, I will create my GL entries and I will push the data to the GL entries to the GL. Why they are given these two options? Any idea?
No, not really.
Okay. So, do you guys aware about the concepts of billing and AR?
Yes.
Okay. So, when you're how the AR items will be generated? What is the source for the AR items?
When you receive a, when you sell something to like the customer or like the vendor, then you receive a receipt for that, right? Invoice for that. Then you pay that. The account, the receivable cycles happens from there, right?
We generate the invoice or we get the invoice?
We generate the invoice.
Okay, where you generate your invoices? From the billing module.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
Okay.
So the AR, the source for the AR is like the billing. Okay. So how many invoices you generate? That means generating the invoice means generating a revenue to the organization. Okay. So when I'm generating my invoices from the billing, so I cannot like collect what are the invoices, the revenue which I collected from the customers. I cannot knock off my receipts to the invoice in the billing module. So the main data, the main source for this AR is like whatever the invoices we generate in the billing, the data will be moved to the AR. Okay, in the AR, when you get when you receive the amount from the customer, you will knock off your open items, the open receipts from the customer. You will knock off your whatever the actual you receive from the customer. Okay, so when I'm generating the invoices in a billing, so where my revenue recognition will happen? My revenue recognition will happen in the billing level. Okay. When I said the data will be moved from the open item data, the billing data will be moved from the billing to AR. Okay. Obviously, accounting entries will also be generated. Okay. So if I do, when I moving the data from the billing to AR, and also I will send my billing data to the revenue data to the GL. Okay. When at the same time, when I put the data to AR, even AR level also my accounting entries will be generated. Again, if I push my the AR entries to the GL, then in the system that there will be the revenue will be recognized two times at the billing level one time and the AR level one time. The interest will be recognized. The revenue will be recognized. So which is causing a duplicate and which is not a correct accounting. Okay. So that is the reason. Okay. So where you want to generate your revenue accounts and from where you want to push the revenue account to the GL. Okay. If I configure at a BK create the GL accounting entries, that means the revenue entries will be generated at the billing level and the data when you run there is a process called FSJSON, like that is called general generator process. So that process will move the accounting entries, the subsystem accounting entries from the subsystem to the GL. Okay. So when I configure only the BI creates the GL accounting entries, what will happen? The billing entries will go to the GL. When the AR entries go to the so when the billing items go to the AR, in the AR level, when the accounting entry is generated, there is a field called the GL entry status. Okay. So there the system will automatically put the status as a I. I means ignored. So that means whenever you run the AR update process and when you run the GL generator process, where actually your AR items will be moved to the GL, at that time the system there is a flag called the billing accounting entry status. If I put this option there, the system by default it will change the status from the N to I. N means not distributed, I means ignored. So when I configure here, by default system, all those entries, the status of the particular field will be changed to the ignored. So that means when I run my GL generator process in the AR level, so from the AR to GL, the accounting entries will not be generated. So that is why you can control the duplicate entries. You understand?
A little bit.
Okay. Okay. When we are covering like in detail about the specific model, I will show you that how this will be prepared.
Okay.
Okay.